Back here at Yurcak Field for the start of second half action. And this Friday night matchup, non-conference matchup between the number 23 ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Cornell Big Red. Dominic Savino alongside Christian Dyer. And Christian, the shot difference a little bit in the favor of the Scarlet Knights, 6-2 in the first half, but each team with only 2 shots on goal apiece in the first half. Really not much going either way.
Yeah, it was a match definitely where Rutgers had the advantage, but Cornell was able to pick their opportunities, in particular on the counterattack. I thought Rutgers for much of the first half was a better team, but there was a little bit of a stretch there for about 15, 20 minutes where Cornell on set pieces, on the counterattack, were able to be dangerous. But Rutgers settled in and I think went into the locker room with a little bit more of the momentum.
Not much action for Alana Jimenez and Megan Kennedy, the 2 goalkeepers for either team. Before we get started for the second half, let's send it down to the field and join our third member of our broadcast crew, Casey Murphy. Casey? Thank you, Casey. She's right. A lot of Big Ten coaching experience for Coach Farmer. His last stop was at Wisconsin as an assistant coach. Also spent 2 years with the New York Power of the now defunct WUSA. So a lot of experience, and he's really done a great job in his 5 years at the helm of Cornell, taking this team from a 1-win team to a team that won 9 games last year.
Yeah, and it's a Cornell program that's certainly pointed on the up. They've recruited very well. This freshman class is dynamic. They're attacking one of the better freshman classes in the nation. I think they've shown tonight that a lot of people maybe were sleeping on Cornell, not just in the Ivy League, but the way they played Syracuse last week, and now the way they've gone up against Rutgers. Been a very tough match so far, a physical match for Rutgers, and a match that's exposed somewhat what Rutgers needs to be aware of in terms of the counterattack.
Already underway for half number 2. The teams switch sides. A big run and rip towards Alana Jimenez. She's in there to make a save, but Cornell trying to strike early. Perhaps get some balls. Jimenez will have to range and use her mobility a little bit to get to.
Yeah, not an easy save at all there from Jimenez. During the halftime break, the heavens opened up. We now have a little bit of a cool breeze, but with that, the field's a little bit on the slick side. A bouncing ball, bouncing right in front of her, using her form, relying on her technique well.
And almost 10 minutes of, seemed like a downpour in between the end of the first half and start of the second half before we came back on. Rutgers now with their head up. Here's Madison Tiernan with her left foot, rips it high and wide. I know Tiernan can hit it from 20-plus yards out. Hit one with her left foot for the first goal of the Georgetown game last Sunday.
And Tiernan doing so well here just to get a little bit of separation, using her left foot, not able to get it on frame. But both teams, Dom, coming out here in the second half, obviously had their Wheaties at halftime. 2 quick opportunities in 2 minutes.
Another early chance for Rutgers. That's Hendley on the far side of the field. Are a couple changes in the starting 11s on either side for the second half, especially for Rutgers. Karina Hendley and Tierney Wiltshire both staying in the match. They didn't start the match, but they'll stay in there. Finished out the first half. Did a very good job. Mentioned Karina Hendley, a very good job with her physicality trying to get in front of Cornell defenders. This throw in to the top of the 18. There's Tiernan, tries to get a foot on it, but Kennedy scoops it up.
Well, I think a big part of it, Dom, is that there hasn't been a whole lot of tape, not only on this Cornell team, but on this new formation. In exhibition games and the first 2 games here, they went with a 3-5-2 formation, pushing a lot of numbers forward, the wingers liking to come in, pinching in sometimes centrally. But over the past game or so, they've gone to a bit more of a 4-1-3-1, and just a little bit of a different look. I think Rutgers has gotten a better idea of it and has it's helped them settle into this match.
A reset earned as Aaron Smith took a little bit of a tumble. She got knocked down by Juliana Comer of Cornell. The Big Red out on the attack. One-on-one opportunity on the near side. And they'll run out of room. That's Jessica Ritchie trying to chase it down in front of Wiltshire. Dangerous ball right on the touchline on Rutgers' back end as it's booted out. Cornell will regain possession. And what does either team need to do, Christian? You've got 40-plus minutes left of soccer left. Didn't really create many great chances either way. Really is a disjointed game for both teams. What can you do to try and stem the tide and produce quality opportunities?
Yeah, I think if it's Cornell, keep doing what you're doing, but they're lacking that final ball, that final pass to spring someone in the box. They're getting numbers forward. Their movement's been good. And on Rutgers, for much of the first half, they struggle with getting that second ball, regaining possession. They did a better job as the half wore on. Final 10, 15 minutes, they were doing that very well. But I think they need to get more numbers forward. They've been able to cover well defensively, but in terms of getting numbers into the box, they're finding space down the left flank, occasional moments down the right flank, and no better timing than right now. But how many players are in the box right now? There's going to be one, maybe two.
And Andreessen lays it off for Tiernan. Tiernan, the cross in. Nailed out of there by Kennedy. A good job to extend over the line of the 6-yard box and try and keep the cross away from a receiving foot. And a great cross by Tiernan.
Yeah, and Tiernan right now, starting the second half, has been on the right foot. First 5 minutes or so, good rip from about 20 yards out. Now finding some space down the right side. Tiernan's one of those players who you can pigeonhole her on the wing or up top or wherever you want in the midfield. But she's so good at finding space, sitting there, and then being able to turn towards goal. Just let her go at this point.
Tiernan with 3 goals, the active goals and points leader for Rutgers. Needs just one more goal. She's got 17 so far in her career. 18 would tie her for 11th on the Scarlet Knights all-time list. And certainly a historic Scarlet Knights program. You think of some of the ladies that have come by here. Everyone always thinks of Carly Lloyd. She's the headliner, and she leads the points category all-time with 117 in 4 years at Rutgers.
Well, you look at Rutgers, players on the Canadian women's national team, United States women's national team, now player in Casey Murphy, U.S. under-20 national team. So it's just year after year. It's a program that has gone from just having some good recruiting classes to now essentially reloading in a recruiting footprint as well, Dom, that has really become much more national in scope.
Rutgers searching here. Wiltshire towards the middle. Gets a triple team to the foot of Henley, but an awkward bounce and Cornell clears. Battle right around midfield. Looks like Yerby who ripped down a Rutgers player. The Scarlet Knights play it forward. Shiraka misplayed it initially. She'll force Adams to try and play the ball, and she does. Expert play by Shiraka, who ripped it in. Deflected out by Cornell. And a dangerous sliding tackle on Deloach at midfield. Henley battling for possession with the left foot stopped by Kennedy. Looks like it may have just been a foot or so wide of goal. And there is a Rutgers player down right around midfield on the dangerous slide tackle we saw earlier. Deloach got the raw end of it.
Yeah, that's Visco, the standout freshman. She's played every minute so far this season. Really been just such a solid addition to this team. And kind of one of those battles, those tackles where just a cleat gets stuck here or there. Nothing malicious on either side. 2 players going for the ball. We
saw Tess Pulano for Cornell go down with a cramp in the latter stages of the first half. The rain did come down, relieve some of the humidity here in Piscataway, but especially with the heat still around the mid-80s, an easy chance to get dehydrated out there on the pitch, especially if you're like Visco playing every minute of every match thus far for Rutgers and wearing down and be catching a cramp in your calf.
Yeah, after that tackle, looks like maybe she got stuck and she immediately got up. She couldn't stand all the way up, but you weren't taking her off that field.
Kenny Wright, a good job to draw the foul, and Rutgers will turn it around just as Cornell looked to have something going into their attacking side.
A bit more rhythm and flow here from Rutgers in the second half, opening 7 minutes or so of the second half. They seem to be moving better off the ball. There's overlapping runs. They're passing into space. There's more purpose, more direction.
This one in dangerous territory. Karina Henley on frame, and it hits the top crossbar. Henley with the best chance of the match thus far, missed by a foot, trying to go over the head of Megan Kennedy, and the freshman striking again.